Hey everyone, this is Prince from Desi Programmer. Welcome back to this exciting video, and with this video we are going to get started with React.js, and I'll make sure that you don't have to face any problem when it comes to coding or deploying React applications. So just to get started, let's talk about what React.js actually is. React.js is a library for building user interfaces. Well, this would be an oversimplified introduction of React.js. To be honest, React.js is an amazing library for building complex user interfaces. It's developed and backed by Facebook, which means even though it's open source, Facebook guarantees us that it will be maintained and you will keep getting bug fixes from Facebook itself. It runs on client side as a single page application. So a single page application is one where a lot of things is happening in a single page itself. So every time you click on something, a request is being made, but you're not actually refreshing the page. There is no change in the URL. These things are pretty popular with modern days applications, and React helps us with building them. But React.js is not just limited to client side itself. It can be easily combined with Node.js or any other server side language to create a full stack application. And you would have heard about Moon Stack, which is a very popular stack out there. And it's a full stack. You can use it to build a complete web application with server, authentication, authorization, database, files, and a client side itself. So now that we have talked a lot about client side and server side, let's take a couple of minutes and understand what server side rendering and client side rendering actually is. So in server side rendering, for example, if you're using Django plus Django templates, if you're using Laravel plus Blade, and if you're using Express with EJS, HBS or Jade and such. So when you make a request to any particular URL, the server does everything that it has to do, and then it compiles a static file and sends to the browser. The browser has to do nothing. It has to just display the file as it is. So it gets HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It displays the file as it is. That's in simple terms server-side rendering. A common pro of server-side rendering is that when you make a request to let's say a URL, you won't get any data unless the server has completed its task. So if there are 10 database operations that has to be done on any particular request, you have to wait until those 10 operations are completed, and only then you will see anything in your browser. I mean, I'm not even adding latency, network speed and such. Also, there is a load on server itself. Now in client-side rendering, things are a bit different. When you make a request to a URL, a React app or an Angular app or a Vue app is sent to you. Now that particular app shows you whatever they want to show, and then it starts making a request to the server. It fetches the data and then renders accordingly. So every time you make a change or something, it makes a request to the server and then re-renders accordingly. And that's why it's called client-side rendering, because everything is happening on the client side itself. It's not happening on the server. I mean, a lot of things are happening on the server too, but not just only on the server. Now, why do we actually need something like React.js? So just as I said, React.js helps us with making beautiful single-page application, and it can easily render complex UI immediately. But if that's not enough for you, let me tell you a couple of things. So React.js basically serves as the view of our application, and it's more than capable enough to handle the visual part of our any application. It has reusable components. So with your reusable components, once you make a component, you can use it anywhere and as many times as you want. But it's not just that. With reusable components, with your giant application easily distributed in simple components, maintenance is very easy, debugging is very easy, and even updating it is very easy. Also, React.js gives us access to JSX, which is dynamic markup, so you can easily embed JavaScript in your HTML. So if when something changes, your markup is also re-rendered automatically. Now let's come back to the component part. So if you take a look at this particular website, which is my own website, learn.desiprogrammer.com, and now this entire page is a single component. I call this as pro player component, and in this pro player component, this is a player and this is for users who are basically pro users. Now this entire page is a single component of my React application, but at the same time, this entire page can easily be distributed into simple components. I mean, this is what I have done. So now this go back button is a single component. This player is a single component. This title and next button is a single component. This entire render chapter is a single component. And here each of these lesson card is also another single component. The best part is that maintenance is very easy. If I want to make any changes to this button, I can do that and it almost won't affect this particular components. Also managing them, managing the state. For example, when you click on this, replacing this with a new video, replacing the title, checking if the next video exists or not, and then rendering this next button. These things are very simpler when it comes to using React.js. And if you try to do the same thing with Vanilla.js, then you will understand why React.js is so popular and why it actually does things simpler. So this is the entire concept of components, and don't worry, we'll talk in detail about components. We will see how we can actually code them and how we can get to a result where you can understand why these things are very important. Now, although I'm not going to talk about code in this particular intro video, there is something that I want to mention, and that's functional components and class-based component. So basically, when React.js was first introduced, it was based on classes, it was based on class-based components. So if you're watching any old tutorial on YouTube, or if you're watching any old course, they might probably be using class-based component. But if you're watching any new tutorial such as this one or many others too, then you will see functional component. Now this arises a question in any beginner's mind that, hey, what should I be using, functional component or class-based component? Let me give you a very simple answer. Right now, you can just close your eyes. You can blindly trust anyone who says use functional component. Because everything that was in class-based component once has been completely migrated to functional component, so not going to have any issue. Almost every project which is created these days uses functional component, and even old projects have been migrated to functional components. So there is a very slight chance that you might ever have to encounter class-based component, which is, again, I said, very slight. So it won't make any sense that you are learning class-based component right now until unless someone has asked you to do so. If you got a job and someone said that, hey, we have a legacy code base, we can't just migrate it to functional component, so you have to learn class-based component and that. Now, even then, the process will be very simpler. Once you are actually familiar with the concept of states, context, hooks and all, then you can easily migrate the idea from functional to class-based component or from class-based component to functional component. So if you're watching this, you can easily learn with functional component, and if someone is talking about class-based component, you have to exit that video, because it's not like they are teaching wrong or I am teaching wrong. It's just that these are two wide different concepts and they exist in same React.js. Now the next part is prerequisite for this course. So obviously this course is, although it's for beginners, there are a couple of things that you need to know. You need to know HTML and CSS, and when I say that you have to know HTML, CSS, you should have an understanding of HTML, CSS. I'm not asking you to be a pro in HTML or CSS. I'm just asking you to have enough knowledge about HTML. For example, doc types, division, IDs, classes, h1s to access tags, and p tags, anchor tags, buttons, forms, list items and such. And you should have enough introduction with CSS so as to use classes, IDs, give basic text styling, font size, font weights, colors, and things like padding, margin, and a little bit of flex will be better. Then you should know JavaScript basics, and when it comes to JavaScript, there are two wide things here. So one is DOM manipulation based JavaScript, where you do things like document.get element by ID and you manipulate DOM. If you know a little bit about that, it's great. If you don't know that, it won't make much difference here. But you should know the actual JavaScript programming part. For example, data types, loops, functions, promises, asynchronous programming, array methods, and these are the things which are necessary. You don't have to be pro at that again, but you should know these basic concepts, or else you are going to be missed. I mean, I will just start with, let's say this is a function and this is what this returns, and if you don't know what function is, what a return statement is, then again you're going to be missing a lot of things, and a lot of things won't make sense to you. So if you are familiar with these concepts, just dive into this course, because you are actually going to learn a lot of things. So when it comes to that, let's talk about what are you going to learn. Let me tell you first, this is going to be kind of a boring course, because I'm not going to talk about a couple of things in 5 or 6 videos, and then we'll move forward to making giant applications, and I'll talk about doing things on the go, because that could be an issue here. So we are going to take some time in understanding all the basics concepts of React.js, all the core concepts that we need to understand any advanced concepts. I mean, if you're not good with these basic concepts, then you're going to have a lot of problems accommodating with some advanced concepts like Redux, Recoil, and RxJS and stuff. So that's why we are going to spend a lot of time with this basic concept. So we'll get started with creating a project, setting up everything. We'll talk about JSX, expressions in JSX. We'll talk about creating my different components, using them. We'll talk about props, prop types, default props. We'll talk about states a bit. Then we'll move forward and we'll talk about styling our application, because hey, now that we are talking about user interface, not Just rendering them plain won't make sense. You should give them color, fonts, icons. We'll talk about rendering component from data. We will use Bootstrap UI. I'll show you how different it is to use Bootstrap in React.js. We will use Material UI because these are things which are used a lot in React.js, and we'll use them to create amazing UI projects. Then we'll move forward and we'll talk about routing. We'll talk about hooks, which are very important part of functional components. We'll talk about use state, which will help us with the setting state. Then we will have use effect, which has multiple effects on other data. We'll see how we can use context to send data in a chain or nested components, and we will see how we can use ref for whatever it does. I know what it does. I just don't want you to get confused by all these explanations right now. And then we will again end this with the API request, rendering data based rendering component based on the data that we get from API. We'll talk about local storage, and we will create multiple projects with UI and server so that you can understand how things work. So that's what you are going to learn in this complete course. And if you like this video, consider becoming a pro member at desiprogrammer.com. You can get access to a lot more tech stacks using which you can easily build your product or you can easily get a job. So that's pretty much it from my side in this video. In the next video, we are going to get started with installing React.js, creating a project, and we'll talk about all these things that I said you're going to learn in this course.